The familiar surroundings at the Devaney Center will make the Nebraska women's gymnastics team feel right at home as they prepare to defend their Big 12 conference title. The Huskers' A.J. Lamb will try to repeat on the balance beam, where she won a share of the championship just a year ago. And how about the arch-rival Oklahoma Sooners, ranked number 6 in the nation? They certainly hope to derail the Huskers. They're led by senior Mariana Gonçalves and sophomore Casey Tamayo. But don't forget about the Cyclones of Iowa State, who will have something to say about the outcome, with the defending all-around champion Shelly Kringen back again, along with Sissy Huey, the defending champion on the floor. And Missouri also boasts one of the conference's most exciting new freshmen in Alicia Robinson, looking to bring some glory back home for the Tigers in their first ever conference championship. So the stage is set for the Big 12 Gymnastics Championships on Fox Sports Net. Welcome to the Devaney Center on the campus of the University of Nebraska, where the legendary football coach built a powerhouse, of course, and as the athletic director was very proud of the other sports on campus, including gymnastics, which has become a powerhouse as well in Lincoln. At the Devaney Center, the host of the Women's Big 12 Championships here on Fox Sports Net. Hi, everybody. I'm Fred McLeod, and you know, recently we saw basketball success, plenty of it for the Big 12 teams, and they certainly have it here in women's gymnastics as well. If you look at the national rankings, 3 of the top 8 are here, including Oklahoma number 6, their rivals from Lincoln number 7, and Iowa State number 8. And don't forget about our 4th participant, the University of Missouri number 25. And to help us sort out what's going to happen over the next 90 minutes, we certainly can say the queen of gymnastics in the U.S., 3-time Olympian Dominique Dawes. Great to have you with us.
Well, tonight we're going to have some powerful seniors. Great leadership will be on the floor in this competition. Starting off from Iowa State, last year's defending national champion in the Big 12 Conference is Shelly Kringen. She's looking great in her warm-ups on the vault, the uneven parallel bars, as well as the floor exercise. She should definitely have a strong performance. And then also there's Sissy Huey. One of her strongest events is the uneven parallel bars, and she's been warming up quite well on them. And then topping it off is Oklahoma's Mariana Gonçalves. And in her career, she has claimed 4 individual titles. Let's see if she can do another one in this competition.
Obviously, Dominique, you know about pressure, and certainly it helps to be a senior having gone through this pressure cooker before, but we also have some super sophomores who are ready to step to the table.
Yeah, we do. We have 2 stable sophomores. Starting off from Oklahoma, we have Casey Tamayo. Very consistent on the parallel bars as well as the balance beam. Very strong looking in her warm-ups in this afternoon. And then also from Nebraska, Rochelle Simpson. She's known to have her favorite event be the balance beam, which is usually the shakiest event for a competitor. So let's see how she does in the competition.
And certainly while you were patriotic in your day working for the U.S., but obviously gymnastics in your level more of an individual sport, where here it's all about the team, as you'll see over the next hour and a half. And we open with the first rotation on the vault. It will be the Missouri Tigers. Oklahoma begins the festivities on the uneven bars. On the balance beam, it's going to be Nebraska. And on the floor X, it will be Iowa State's. And perhaps the favorite in this event, not only because she's a Cornhusker, A.J. Lamb, because she's homegrown literally in the city of Lincoln, Nebraska. She's the defending co-champ in the balance beam. Now, most people consider this the most difficult apparatus. However, A.J. likes Nebraska's chances starting out on the beam.
Everyone tends to look at beam as the shaky event or like the scary one, you know, but I think beam is our strong event. We have a strong beam team, and starting out, you know, on it is always a good start for us, and so I think it'll be to our advantage.
And let's see if starting out on the beam does indeed work to the Huskers' advantage. Well, you're going to hear plenty of cheers, of course, from the localites, friends and family here, including Mom. Rochelle very nervous but confident of her daughter's chances here in the Big 12. A.J. only competed in a couple of events last year because of injury, but has bounced back very nicely.
Very strong start. Difficult front somersault mount.
A.J. is number 46 in the country in this event. Again, arguably the most difficult apparatus, don't you think?
Yeah, it definitely is. And she's going for one of her difficult moves. That was a back handspring back layout, and that's a series which is required for the balance beam routine. And it's only 4 inches wide. A lot of people think it's a lot wider, but it's only 4 inches wide.
But if you're performing well, maybe it looks 4 feet sometimes.
Yep.
If you're not doing well, maybe it looks like 2 inches.
Completely. Sometimes when you're in the zone, it feels like it's a foot wide, and sometimes when you're not, it feels like you're on a tightrope. Nice, unique combination right there.
Dan Kendrick, head coach, describes her as explosive, which you wouldn't think to be on this particular type of exercise, but you still have to be strong, don't you?
You do have to be strong. A lot of requirements on the balance beam, or a lot of flips, a lot of somersaults. And here she goes for her dismount. Beautiful landing. That looks like a wonderful set right there.
And whoo, the family can exhale now as AJ sticks the first one. And the balance beam.
And here's her mount. It's a front somersault. One of the most difficult mounts you can do onto the balance beam. A lot of gymnasts opt for, you know, an easier mount, such as a split, but she does one of the most difficult ones. And here's her dismount, nice and clean.
And a good start for AJ Lamb, a 9.85. We'll be back with more of the first rotation from NU after this on Fox Sports Net. Continue our first rotation and continue with the Cornhuskers on the beam. It'll be Tammy Harris stepping up. Tammy, like AJ Lamb, number 46 in the country in the national ranking for this event.
She opted to do an easier mount than her teammate. Nice little dance combination right there as she prepares for her series.
At this level, how much do the judges take into effect the start?
Well, they like to see just artistic value, and they're not focusing so much on how difficult your mount is versus your dismount, just as long as she gets all the requirements in within that minute and 30 seconds that she's allotted.
Tammy's career best, by the way, a 9.90.
Very solid there in that leap combination jump. You know, one thing to note out on the balance beam is that you have to always concentrate on all of the apparatuses, but the balance beam is one of the most difficult because you hear music, you hear the crowd cheering for other competitors, so she definitely has to keep her focus. And here she goes for her dismount.
2 for 2 for the Cornhuskers. And the smile reflecting that.
And actually, that smile there was from past Olympian Rhonda Fain, 1998 Olympian.
Assistant coach. He loved it just as well as Tammy did. Watch it again.
Nice requirement right there. Take another look at her dismount. This is a round off. Move to a 1.5. Nice clean landing.
And there's a smile that says yes. That is why this is my favorite event. Way to go, Tammy. And the judges liked it, a 9.90. Hey, a personal best for Tammy Harris. All right, our first look at the Oklahoma Sooners on the uneven bars. Casey Tamayo coming off a season best 9.90 against Texas Women's University.
Casey's having a strong start to her performance, swinging quite nicely. It was a full pirouette to a giant Tkachev to a straddle backhand.
Casey's 35th in the NCAA in this event.
Full pirouette to double tuck dismount. Beautiful landing, no deduction.
Did she hang on to it long enough?
Yes, she did. And here's Casey's Tkachev. Nice height, beautiful flexibility.
She has really grown in this event this year.
Full pirouette, double tuck dismount. Nice fight on that landing. She has to be pleased with that performance.
And a 9.85 for the sophomore from Sacramento. Mariana Gonçalves, who some feel is the Big 12 Gymnast of the Year. And a good performance here would certainly sew it up.
Well, this senior's definitely starting off pretty solid. Nice Tkachev move. Pike Jaeger to an overshoot, nice and clean so far in her performance.
Mariana, one of the 3 Brazilian gymnasts on the Oklahoma squad, and the team leader indeed. Perfect.
Beautiful landing. She ended with a full-in somersault. Very difficult. Looks great for college.
Steve Nuno loved it, the head coach.
And here she goes, getting ready for her dismount. A little bit of preparation. That's a full twist to a back somersault. Little hop, slight hop on the landing. Slight deduction.
Mariana twice this year had 9.95 scores. So Mariana settles for a 9.875 on the uneven. Back to the Huskers on the beam. It's Rochelle Simpson in her first Big 12 meet. The Penn State transfer has already set a school record in this event this season.
Yeah, in this event, the judges are definitely looking for nice dance combinations as well as jump combinations and somersaults. So far, she's had a really nice start, quite basic. Now she's preparing for a series. Flip-flop layout, flip-flop, beautiful, solid series right there.
Some feel Rochelle could be a contender for the all-around title here.
Beautiful. She's about 1:30 to get all these requirements in the performance. So you have to move at a rapid, quite quick pace to make sure you get all the requirements in that short amount of time.
And starting out on the beam, she gets to sort of get it out of the way, if you will.
Yeah, that's the best thing. Starting out on the beam, getting it out of the way, getting those jitters behind you, so then you can go into the floor exercise. It's a wonderful time to perform to the audience.
So far, pretty clean performance. This would simply add to the Husker start. A strong one on this apparatus.
And here she gets ready to set up for a dismount. Round off double full clean dismount. She has to be pleased with that performance.
So is assistant coach Rhonda Fain.
Double twister. Slight deduction on the landing. But other than that, I didn't see any other problems.
And thumbs up from the judges for Rochelle Simpson, a 9.95. The Big 12 Gymnastics Championships continue when we return to Lincoln, Nebraska, here on Fox Sports Net. On the Nightline of sports talk shows, The Last Word with Jim Rome, weeknights at 10:30, right here on Fox Sports Net. We're still in the first rotation. Iowa State on the floor exercise. We still await the seniors, Sissy Huey and Shelley Kringen. We asked Sissy Huey what makes Kringen such a good gymnast.
She can just make anything look so easy. She's so graceful. And I think because of the fact that she works so hard in practice, and it's not, when she comes to meets, she doesn't have to work hard. She can just let her, her skills come out, and she's just a beautiful gymnast to watch, and I think that makes her a good gymnast.
And now on the floor for Iowa State, the defending Big 12 overall champion, Shelley Kringen.
Somersault. Good start to a solid routine.
Shelley's the 12th best floor exerciser, if you will, in the country.
She's also the defending champion in this competition last year, and to win it again this year, she's going to have a solid performance on all 4 of the events.
And this is a very important event for ISU because this is their strongest event. They're 6th in the country on the floor. Coaches were saying yesterday this floor has a lot of bounce to it, that the road participants will certainly like it and feel comfortable on it.
You know, for my 13 years of competitive gymnastics, that is definitely something that gymnasts have to get used to. No two apparatuses are the same, so when you travel to a different gym, it's never going to be like it is at home.
So could there possibly be too much bounce?
You know, there is such thing as too much bounce, but you'd rather have too much than not enough.
Yeah. Unless you don't practice on concrete.
No, we don't. Not anymore. That was the 50s.
In black and white TV days.
Nice routine there. Nice start.
Shelly Criggin. And the ISU fans love it. They made the 3.5-hour trip here to root on the Cyclones.
And here's Shelly going for a third pass. A little tired. Front tumbling has definitely become quite popular in this sport.
And a 9.85 for Shelly Criggin. It's going to put some pressure on her now for the rest of the night if she's going to defend her all-around crown. Also going to put some pressure on Sissy Huey as she is going to be up next on the Floor X. We talked to Shelly Criggin about her teammate Sissy Huey. What makes her such a special part of this team?
She's a good teammate. She's motivating, and everyone looks up to her because she does work so hard. But, you know, she has the personality that's so fun, and she, you know, in the gym she laughs, outside the gym she makes us laugh. It's just, she's a very, very good friend and teammate.
Here's Sissy Huey now, the other half of the 1-2 tandem for ISU. Sissy also a senior.
Nice strong start again. It's always good to have good leadership in a team, and with two strong seniors such as Sissy and Shelly, this should be great for the squad.
Iowa State has had 15 meets this year, and Sissy has won 7 times on the floor.
Not a bad percentage right there. Definitely creative choreography, and that's one thing the judges are looking for. Good artistic value, nice clean dance, something that fits your personality.
Like somebody else I know.
You know, floor is actually one of my strongest events. I enjoyed performing to the crowd, and that's definitely what Sissy's doing right now.
You have to sell it, don't you?
Oh, you do? Oh, my coach used to always say that. You got to sell it, Dom. You know, that's one thing that's so exciting about college performances. They're always selling it, not only on the floor exercise, but on the bars, as well as the balance beam. They're always having fun.
And we should also note that the scores you're going to see are not the same 9.95s or 10.0s in your world.
That's very true. In collegiate level of gymnastics, they're sticking with the level 10 rules, which is one step below the elite level, Olympic level competition.
Sissy Huey. Coach Kindler likes it. And she knows as those two seniors go, so goes her team.
And here goes Sissy's start. This is a round-off whip back to a high double pike somersault. Beautiful landing.
On the balance beam, the University of Oklahoma. And on the floor, the University of Nebraska.
So Sissy Huey gets a 9.90. That's 5/100ths of a point below her winning total on the Floor X a year ago here at the Big 12. And to the vault, where the Missouri Tigers participated, of course, finishing with her two strongest, Lindsay Davis and Alicia Robinson. This is Lindsay.
Lindsay's going to be competing a vault also known as the Phelps. That was a Suk with the half. Nice, strong vault right there.
So the sophomore from the state of Kansas registers at 9.825. And now the freshman from the state of Missouri, the very powerful Alicia Robinson.
Alicia's going to do a more difficult vault. This is a Yurchenko entry, blind onto the horse. Nice landing, a slight deduction.
So the Yurchenko, you're in effect hitting the horse backwards.
Yes, you are. Round off backwards towards the horse.
So a 9.825, her score thrown into the Missouri mix. But you see the leader after the first rotation, Nebraska, 49.375. Iowa State second, Oklahoma third, followed by the Tigers. Back with the second rotation in a moment. in the Big 12 Women's Gymnastics Championships. I'm Fred McLeod along with Dominic Dawes. We're in the second rotation now. The Huskers on the floor, and specifically Libby Landgraf. Career best 9.90 for Dan Kendick, who right now sits in the lead, although precarious, just 1/4 of the way through, but he'll take it. Looking to add an 8th Big 12 title. Libby just a sophomore from Fort Collins, Colorado.
Front to triple twist. Oh, but she seemed to have a slight deduction. She stepped out of bounds. As you see, the floor exercise is red, and the white area is where you're prohibited to go, and that's a 10th deduction if you step out.
Losing a 1/10 of a point. So now she has to overcome that. I assume she's aware of that, correct?
Oh, she's definitely aware of that. You learn that when you're about 6 or 8 years old.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, well, no, only if you're a gymnast.
Yeah, as a broadcaster, you learn it 2 or 3 broadcasts in, I guess.
Front tumbling combination.
Libby added more passes to her value, so it's a 10.0 value this year, so more difficult.
Well, every 4 years, the code of points, which is the rules and regulations for our sport, they change after every Olympic Games, which means you're going to have to up your difficulty to up your score.
It's just really the evolution of the sport, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the evolution of this world, yep.
She's also added a half twist to her routine, making it more difficult.
And then with the double twist.
Libby Landgraf. And Kendig liked it. Let's see if the judges like it too.
And here's her last tumbling run, a double twist. Nice, clean, easy. Beautiful ending to her routine.
Cornhuskers number 7 in the nation in this particular event.
You know, the score is definitely going to reflect that 10th deduction that she had after that first pass. So if you see a 9-8, if she would have stayed in bounds, it would have been a 9-9.
And the numbers for Libby Landgraf, 9.70. Next up, A.J. Land. Her second event tonight. She's 18th nationally on the floor. A lot of nationally ranked gymnasts in this particular Big 12 championship competition.
Definitely, I'm quite impressed with this conference. 3 teams in the top 8 ranked nationally. This is a wonderful, strong conference, and you can tell by the level of performances in all these routines.
AJ is healthy this year. That's reflected in her career best, 9.90 twice. Dan Kendig never assumed that she would come to Nebraska, even though her twin sisters did, even though she was born and raised in Lincoln. But Utah came after her very strong in the recruiting wars, and she almost went there. The 9-time national champion. But she decided to stay home so friends and family could watch.
Libby's definitely having a unique performance here. She started off with a difficult tumbling pass, a triple twist. And as you see, she's dancing to the Pink Panther, which is quite unique for a floor exercise routine. You'd call this selling. She's definitely selling to the crowd right now.
Inspector Clouseau would appreciate it.
I think you would. This is definitely the time in your floor exercise where you get a little tired. You're going to go to the floor, do an extra little breather, an extra little smile to the judges to get ready and set for your last tumbling pass.
So you can cheat, is that what you're saying?
No, it's not really cheating. It's just being smart. She wants to land on her feet.
That's smart.
Yeah, very. Nice front layout to front layout. Front tumbling, as I said before, is definitely popular in this sport.
A.J. Lamb. David loved it. Of course, would Dad wouldn't, huh? AJ 2 for 2 tonight. 2 strong performances.
And here's her last tumbling run, her front combination. Very strong performance.
Another good number for the local Cornhusker, A.J. Lamb, 9.90, and that's the best so far on the floor exercise. All right, we catch up with Lindsay Davis now in Missouri, just coming off her personal best. She almost went to Oklahoma, but decided to be an MU Tiger, and she's up on the bars.
That was an interesting hop that she just did into a front swing into a handstand. It was a wonderful combination right there. It's bonus points right off the back. And here goes her dismount. Double layout and a stuck landing. No deduction.
So that'll help the Tiger cause a bit.
Here's the hop of hands. Nice swing, nice clean form to a Healy twist to a straddle hand.
A 9.75 for Lindsay. I think she's a little disappointed with that score, but she'll take it. Now let's head over to the balance beam. Mariana Gonçalves, her second event tonight. Obviously her best year too. A year ago, or excuse me, a month ago, 9.925, a career best.
She's definitely one of the leaders of her squad, being a senior, her final year to showcase her talent with Oklahoma. Nice solid mount. That was a front somersault, one of the most difficult mounts that you can do onto the balance beam.
Mariana, number 38 in the country in this event.
Slight wobble there. It's going to be a small deduction. And as many people know, the key of this apparatus is to stay on and to look clean. And that means no wobbles, no bobbles, and no slight deductions.
How is she doing so far?
She's doing okay. She had a small bit of a deduction after her series, a little bit of a cleanup after her full turn. But as I said, as long as you don't have a major break, you're going to get a strong score. This is the event that usually makes or breaks someone's competition, and that was a really strong landing.
So Mariana seems to like it. Steve Nono does.
And here's her front somersault. A little off, but she cleaned it up. No deduction.
She really did, because she was leaning, but had the strength to keep it there.
Nice clean dismount, and look at that landing. No deduction as well.
So the senior from Sao Paulo. And the judges' numbers for Maria Gonçalves, 9.85. So she's tied for third now, but Rochelle Simpson still the leader in the event. Back with more of the second rotation after this. To the campus of Nebraska, as we're still in rotation 2, we're on the Oklahoma balance beam. Up next for the Sooners, Casey Tamayo. She loves the beam, and Coach Steve Nuno talked to us about Casey's talents on the beam.
Casey Tamayo is just like a cat on the balance beam. I mean, she's a fantastic athlete, but she's got such balance and such control and such poise that that's what it takes to be a great beam competitor.
And Casey's one of the few gymnasts who finds a comfort factor on that beam.
Casey's quite known for her consistency, her clean performance on the balance beam. So her concentration must be sharp at all times.
She's number 10 in the country in this event. She has really become a strong beam participant.
When I saw her warm up, she actually performed 2 layouts in warm up, and I think she might have felt a little off on that series, so she took one of them out.
She's got to have good vibes from her last event on the beam. A perfect 10.
You know, sometimes getting that perfect 10 can be a little intimidating because, you know, the next performance got, you know, has to be perfect or else.
Nowhere to go, huh?
No.
No 11s.
Oh. That's going to be a slight deduction. She put her hand on the beam, which it should be at least 2 tenths taken off.
Which is huge in this scoring system where there are so many high marks.
Nice dismount.
Coach has to sell it too, I guess, right, with his smile?
Yeah, he kind of does have to sell it, play it off. Even if he doesn't like the performance, he has to act like he does. And here's one of her problem areas. Jumped and was just a little off, put her hand on the beam. That'll definitely be a deduction.
So that bow indeed costing Casey a little bit on the beam. 9.75 her score. Now back to the 4X we go. Rochelle Simpson's turn. You know, Nebraska lost last year's newcomer of the meet, Alicia Ingram, to injury. So this season, Simpson had to pick up some of the slack, and boy, has she ever done that.
Rochelle's really picked up the pace and picked up maybe where Alicia was last year, where she came in and she's been very consistent on all 4 events. I would say her best events are probably beam and floor. And, you know, she's just, again, just a real team player and is a strong competitor on all 4 events.
So Rochelle, who started off with a 9.95 on the beam, in the first rotation, now ready for the floor exercise.
And that was definitely a wonderful way to start her performance on the balance beam, 9.95. It's a great way to go start your competition.
So the former Nittany Lion, now to one of her favorite events.
Nice double layout somersault. That's quite impressive. You don't see that often in collegiate type of competition.
You know, getting that 9.95 on the beam, you have to consider now in the all-around, even though this would be just event number 2.
Definitely. I mean, 9.95 on the balance beam, the shakiest event there is. As long as she ends up performing just as clean as she was in the balance beam, she definitely has a shot to come in the top 3.
Mayo gave us the 9.95. Rochelle would love to match that, wouldn't she?
This is a strong floor routine, not only for her tumbling, but also her dance and her dance combinations, her turns and her jumps are quite powerful.
Simpson just 33rd in the country. I say just, but she is number 33 in the NCAA in this event.
And here she prepares for her last tumbling pass. Double pike somersault, beautiful landing. She has to be quite excited about that floor routine.
Indeed, a strong routine for Rochelle Simpson, the sophomore.
And here's her double layout. First tumbling pass, beautiful technique, nice rise in the second somersault.
And Rochelle, happy about a 9.95 on the floor X. All right, to the uneven bars, Alicia Robinson's turn. This is her strongest event. Head coach Rob Drass is excited about the potential of his freshman.
I mean, Alicia's a fantastic athlete. She just really is. I mean, she can hang with anybody in the country. As a freshman, you know, there's a growing process, and I think she's really starting to come into her own. We've been experimenting with some new routines, higher difficulty levels, so that she can get to the national championships and become an All-American or national champion in an event or 2.
And this freshman is anchoring the uneven parallel bars for her team, which makes her definitely a strong competitor on this event.
She's also very strong, as you'll see a little bit later on the floor exercise.
Watch this Tkachev. Look how high it is over the bar. Beautiful combination release moves right there.
This is such an athletic event.
Yes, it is. Takes not only arm strength, abdominal strength, but also shoulders as well. Beautiful double layout, and look at that landing, perfect, no deduction.
Iowa State, Nebraska, Oklahoma all tried to recruit Alicia, but she decided to stay home. Stayed home with this performance.
Tkachev way above the bars, beautiful form.
And Alicia, anxious for her numbers, 9.85 on the bars. And let's show you how Iowa State finished up on the vault. starting with Sissy Hewitt.
Well, Sissy's going to opt to do a front entry vault. She's going to do a front handspring, the pike somersault with a half turn. That was just beautiful.
This was a thorn in her side until this year. Clearly, the senior having her best season on the vault. 9.875. Ditto for Shelly Kringen.
Shelly's going to be performing the Phelps vault, which is a popular vault in the collegiate level. Slight deduction on the landing, but other than that, it looks clean.
She had a perfect 10 in this event last year. Has to settle for the 9.85. So halfway through the Big 12 Gymnastics Championships, Nebraska holds on to the lead, which is now widened over Iowa State. Oklahoma is third, and Missouri bringing up the bottom, 97.55. We'll be back for rotation number 3 from Lincoln after this timeout on Fox Sports Net. Jam-packed fan bus that made the trip from Ames to Lincoln about 3.5 hours, and I'm sure those young ones were on some laps, but they're having a good time as they now get set for the third rotation. Nebraska on the vault. Iowa State goes to the uneven bars. On the beam, it's going to be the Tigers of Missouri, and on the Forex, Oklahoma. On the uneven bars, the Cyclones, starting up with freshman Abigail Ritchie. 9.850 is a career best. Not bad for a freshman year.
No, not at all. She probably came from private club gymnastics. It's probably a little shaky for a freshman year. It sounds like she started off quite well.
And that score came against Missouri. So the Big 12 competition to her liking.
Ooh. Just did a Tkachev, hit her heel on the bar. That'll definitely be a small deduction. I'm sure it's hurting her right now.
And the average fan probably doesn't realize how much injury comes into play in this sport.
No, there's a lot of injury on all the apparatuses, and definitely on that one, her heel's probably going to be hurting, bruises as usual.
But a good landing for Abigail.
Very good landing. Here's the area that she had problems on. Tkachev, and right there she hits her foot on the bar, but she recovers quite well. And here comes her dismount. Double tuck. Nice stick on the landing.
Like she had Velcro on the bottom of her feet.
That's one way to think of it.
Exactly. So a good start for the Cyclones. 9.75 the score for Abigail Ritchie. All right, freshman to freshman, Tiger style this time. Rachel Dumbart on the beam for Mizzou.
Rachel opts to do an easier mount, just a tuck jump on. Nice safe way to get on the apparatus.
Another one of those youngsters that Rob Drass is talking about, and the fact that if Missouri's going to spring any kind of upset, the kiddie core really has to come through.
Solid and clean back layout, pointed toes, straight legs. Definitely an enhancement in her routine.
And she has to maintain the concentration, as you talk about. The crowd applauding another event. She's got to stick with it.
Goes for a front somersault. Beautiful landing, no deduction whatsoever.
She's a former Georgia High School state champion in the bar event. But here on the beam, trying to stick her landing.
She seems to be a little timid, a little tentative and slow in this routine, but it's been paying off. There's no deduction, there's no bobbles on any of her jumps or on her acrobatic moves.
In baseball, they call it being deliberate, which is okay.
Yeah, it's good to be that in this sport as well. Sets up for a dismount. Front full stuff landing. Her coach seems to be quite excited.
Good job, Rachel. Rachel Dumbart. Fine finish.
And here's her back layout. Beautiful form. Even pointed toes on that. It's wonderful.
And the judges reward her with a 9.925 personal best for the freshman. Next up on the bars for ISU, senior Stephanie Schweitzer from Minnesota.
Nice full pirouette. into a release move known as a ginger. So far, her set's quite clean.
Coach Kindler calls her the smoking gun of this team. Many times she kind of turns things around when the team really needs her the most.
It's always good to have a strong leader. Nice set right there.
And Stephanie knows it.
And here's Stephanie's release move right from a full pirouette. Ginger, nice form into an overshoot.
Really a strong performance here for Stephanie.
And here she goes to set up for a dismount, full pirouette. Double tuck, one of the easier dismounts, but beautiful landing.
That smile says confidence, doesn't it?
She has to be pleased with that performance.
Indeed, a fine number for Stephanie Switzer, 9.90. That's the best so far on the bar. Next up, Shelly Kringen, who's had a career best this year, 9.925 on the bars.
This is the third event for Shelly. She has to feel really good about her 2 previous performances. Nice full pirouette into a Tkachev. Oh, a little off. That'll be a 5/10 deduction right there.
So she'll rechalk.
She has about 30 seconds to regroup herself, get mentally into it. And that's what she's putting a little water chalk on and getting some corrections from her coach.
How do you put that behind you?
You really can't, but you have to go in knowing that you got to continue forward and you don't want to make any more mistakes. Like we were talking about before, this is a team competition, and she knows she has to be there for her team.
Especially being one of the co-captains and a senior. Shelly will finish school next year as a 5th-year student, but without gymnastics. She says it'll be fun just to be a student again.
Sure it will. And she's finishing up quite strong. Double front dismount. No deduction on the landing.
So a nice comeback by Shelly. Now it's in the judges' hands.
And here's the problem area that she had. Her release move. Actually, this is her dismount. Nice, difficult dismount with no deduction on her landing.
And wow, the fall really cost Shelly Kringen 9.20. Down to the floor exercise. Patricia Aoki, who's 30th in the NCAA competition, on the floor. She's had the 9.925 score you saw twice this year, once against Iowa State.
And here she goes for her first tumbling pass. 2.5 to a punch front in the pike position. Very difficult pass. I'm sure right now she's definitely thinking about redeeming herself from the problems that she had previously on the balance beam, and she's doing a great job right now.
Patricia, a junior from Sao Paulo.
With a front Rudy.
Patricia, part of that Brazilian pipeline for the Sooners. It's been so successful.
Yeah, these gymnasts train about 20 hours a week, from dance to conditioning moves to other gymnastics routines, and they've definitely shown that they've been working quite hard in preparation for this competition. Here's her last tumbling pass. Double full due to a unique jump, a Shushanova.
Oklahoma's very strong in this event, second best in the country behind Alabama, and a good finish for Patricia.
That routine should score nicely.
Steve Nuno loved it. So did Nilson Savage from Brazil, one of the assistant coaches. One of the reasons why 3 Brazilians on this Sooner squad.
And here's her last tumbling run. This is a double twist into a Shushanova jump.
And a thumbs up for the judges there. Aoki with a 9.90 on the floor. Well, comfortable territory now for ISU's Sissy Huey. Uneven bars. She won this event in the Big 12 Conference as a freshman and again as a sophomore, and was second last year.
If you look at her bar routine, you can tell right away from the start she has wonderful swing, beautiful Jaeger. Threw it in overshoot, and now she's just setting up for a dismount.
Sissy right now 4th best in the country on the bars.
Very powerful uprise, full pirouette, setting up for a dismount. Double layout, beautiful routine. It has to be above a 9-9.
That was flawless to this pair of naked eyes.
And here's her full blind change, actually, through to her Jaeger. Wonderful height and clean form.
What did the judges say? 9.9. So that ties teammate Stephanie Schweitzer for the lead in the Big 12 uneven bars. Back with more rotation number 3 in a moment. Welcome back to Lincoln, Nebraska, in the Big 12 Women's Gymnastics Championships. I'm Fred McLeod along with Dominic Dawes. All right, onto the beam for Missouri, the freshman Alicia Robinson. Has done well on the vault and the bars with scores of over 9.8. Now she'd like to do even better here if she can.
She starts off with a difficult mount, round off back layout, landing on 2 feet. High, definitely in difficulty.
She was heavily recruited by all the Big 8 schools, but is glad she decided to stay home and be a Tiger.
Just did a nice leap combination. Now she's setting up for her series. Oh, a little off.
That's going to hurt.
Yeah. 5-10 deduction right there.
Part of the growing process of a freshman.
Actually, it's a growing process throughout your whole career. Freshman, sophomore, junior, doesn't matter. You're always going to make those mistakes. You got to learn to come back, brush it off, and continue with the rest of your routine.
But clearly she will be a bedrock for this program. And even if you feel the disappointment, you can't show it, can you?
Oh, no, not whatsoever. You can't show it at all. The judges will even take off for that. You'll have a little jitters, a little bit of bobbles throughout your routine. You got to shake it off and continue to go on strong, and she seems to be doing just that. Here's her dismount. Round off double tuck dismount. Nice routine other than the fall.
And we'll have to see what kind of production it's going to be.
And here's her series right here. Let's see where she goes off. Her back knee was a little bent. That could have pulled her off, but she could have tried to fight just a little bit harder.
And yes, it cost her big time. 9.3 on the beam for Alicia. Next up on the 4X for OU, Casey Tamayo. Senior Mariana Gonzalez is the Sooners team leader, though, and she appreciates the hard work of her sophomore teammate, Casey Tamayo.
She's just a great competitor. She looks great out there. When she's competing, she's just fabulous. She puts everything she has during the competition time, and she's just really talented and really hard worker.
And Casey clearly now ready to step up and be the Sooners leader of the future. Just a sophomore, keep in mind.
She is definitely performing to the crowd. You can tell right away from her selection of music. A little bit of Janet Jackson going on there.
Yeah, how important is the music selection?
Music is very important. You have to fit your personality. If someone can't dance well, they're not going to pick Janet Jackson. And I'm obviously expecting Casey can dance and perform quite nicely.
Janet will make you a good dancer, right?
Janet will definitely make you a good dancer. The floor exercise is definitely a chance for the gymnasts to strut their stuff and show their creativity. You don't want to be boring on the floor because you got to keep the crowd awake and you got to keep the judges awake.
If anything, the dance part of this routine is just as important as the athleticism, don't you think?
You know, the judges are definitely looking for a strong artistic value, which is the dance, but athleticism is important as well because if you don't have the tumbling passes, you're not going to get the score.
This is a surprise recruit for Coach Nuno, since Casey comes from Sacramento. Of course, UCLA, the defending national champion out there.
Casey's definitely known for her front tumbling ability. 2 of her passes have been front tumbling. Wonderful routine.
All right, Casey. You may have heard Coach Nuno. All right, Casey.
And here's one of her front tumbling passes right here. Little slight spread of her legs, but that'll be a slight deduction.
And a 9.95, so for the 3rd time this season, Tamayo gets that number, and tonight it's good enough for a tie for the lead with Rochelle Simpson. Casey has great respect, as you might suspect, indeed, for her teammate, Mariana Gonzalez.
Come on now. I respect her work ethic, like in the gym. She works very hard, and together, like, we kind of feed off each other. Like, we both work hard, and like it's like a mini competition every single day between me and her, and me and like all of us between each other, but especially between me and her, because both of us are the all-arounders for the team, and it's kind of nice to have somebody like push you every day.
No question about it. These two seem to have made each other better this year. Sophomore leaning on the senior, and the senior recognizing the outstanding talent of the sophomore.
Yeah, I'm definitely sure Casey's looking to Mariana for guidance, for support, and for confidence, and I'm sure she's learned a lot from this successful senior.
You know, in talking to Mariana yesterday, her English is outstanding, and she admits when she first arrived in Norman, her English was not very good. But 4 years on campus and being so tight with her gymnast friends, she has mastered the language. Her boyfriend is Tim Duncan, a kicker for the football team, who expects to be drafted next month in the NFL draft. So I'm sure Tim will get a kick out of his performance. Can I say that?
Yeah, I'm sure he is going to get a kick out of his performance. Nice. That was nice. Oklahoma's doing quite nicely on the floor. I don't know who their choreographer is, but the routines are definitely fitting the personalities of the athletes. As you hear, her music's definitely unique, and her dance is fitting it quite well.
Again, being the 2nd-ranked team in the country in this event, they're selling it. You know, the Brazilians have always had a flair, though, haven't they?
Yeah, you know, I was thinking that, too, and I'm wondering why they didn't choose Latin music, because that's definitely going to get the crowd up and moving, but the choice that they've made has been a smart one.
It certainly worked this season.
Nice front combination. She has to be pleased with this performance.
Mariana, 3 times the Big 12 Gymnast of the Week, and she finishes with a flourish.
And here Mariana goes. Whip half to a front full. Interesting back front combination. And here goes another one of her front tumblings. Front handspring, front layout, nice stretch body, and beautiful landing.
Well, she tied for 2nd in this event last year. Hoping to win the gold, so to speak, here in Lincoln. So the Sooners are done on the floor exercise. Gonzalez at 9.90, closing out their 3rd rotation. This is the weakest of the Nebraska arsenal, the vault, but A.J. Lamb had a 9.90 as the Huskers stepped it up.
Look at the height on this vault. This is a handspring front pike with a half. Beautiful. Wonderful height, explosive.
Oh, the Lincoln ladies had quite a night here at the Devaney Center. She loves it, 9.90. Then Jessica Wirtz, the defending co-champion of the Big 12 in this event.
Jessica's opting for a Yurchenko vault, round-off entry, blind into the horse with a full twist. Perfect landing.
Jess Wirtz, a 9.90, backing up A.J. Lamb. Sooners feeling some momentum. And the final participant for the Huskers, Rochelle Simpson. She came up with a 9.8.
This vault is a wonderful vault. Beautiful height, handspring front pike.
Rochelle, one of the leaders in the all-around, though, because she had the highest score in the balance beam and the floor exercise. So a 9.8 will help her. But team-wise, the Huskers, almost an insurmountable lead now over the Cyclones. And look how close it is between second and third. OU is number 3, followed by the Tigers of Missouri. Back with a fourth and final rotation from Lincoln after this. Bars for Nebraska, Tammy Harris. Tammy clearly has been one of Coach Dan Koenig's most consistent performers this year.
She's the one we've nominated for the Big 12 Gymnast of the Year this year for our school. She's just got, you know, she's got the total package. She's powerful, she's elegant, she's consistent, she's got a good head, she competes well.
So far, Tammy has done a fine job for the Huskers this evening. In fact, this year, she's won every event with the exception of the beam.
Now, the uneven bars is definitely a strong event for Tammy. She has to mount the bars from a different direction. Nice swing in her performance. Tkachev, beautiful catch. Right now she's setting up for a dismount. She does an uprise. Beautiful. That's a difficult move right there. Double layout somersault. Awesome routine.
The crowd on its feet for Tammy Harris. Belying her number 55 ranking nationally.
Here's her full pirouette, and she's setting up for a release move. Nice height over the bars.
As the Huskers continue to add to their lead. Now Nebraska needs to avoid any big-time mistakes. Tammy Harris certainly helps the cause. 9.85 on the unevens. Here comes A.J. Lamb. Career best 9.900. That's what she had on the vault earlier. To go with a 9.850 on the beam. So she's having a fine Big 12 championship.
She must feel really good going up after a strong performance by her teammate, Tammy. And so far, she's starting off slight problem right there, but she's cleaning it up quite well.
She also had a 9.90 on the floor.
She's having a lot of pirouette combinations in this routine, which is definitely good to rack up on these bonus points.
AJ is going to be up in the mix in the all-around.
Double tuck dismount. Beautiful landing, no deduction.
What a night, and look at the eyes of Coach Koenig.
She's definitely a fighter. During her routine, she had a little bit of problems. And here she goes setting up for the dismount. She had to feel a little tired because she was having problems in the beginning of her set. Toe shoot to a handstand. Opting for an easy dismount, but it definitely pays off with a clean landing.
Huskers haven't lost in this building since 1993. They've won 44 straight competitions, and nobody personifies it more than the home gal, A.J. Lamb. For A.J., 9.8, so that's her low number of the night, and that may cost her in the all-around. The floor exercise is the final event for the Missouri Tigers. Up on the floor, Lindsay Davis.
You know, the floor exercise ending on this event is one of the most exciting parts of the performance because you get to show off and have fun. And what's the best way to go out of a competition? Having fun. And she's definitely doing so. Great start with a double back somersault. Really clean on her landing.
As a freshman, she set the all-time Frost record for Mizzou with a 38.975 against Iowa State, ironically.
1.5 twist to punch pike front. I have to do a very easy pass for her second one, but I'm sure she'll make it up in her dance and also in her last tumbling pass.
She needs better than a 9.825 to set a career best. Think she's on her way?
I think so. I don't know what her last pass is going to be, but if it's of high difficulty, I think she won't have a problem getting that score.
Part of the bright future for Mizzou. Looks like she's having a good time.
Yeah, it does. smiling, dancing, showing it to the crowd as well as the judges. The judges like to see that. They've been giving an extra tenth or two just for that. And here she goes. Front tumbling, layout combination. A little bit of trouble on the landing, but a nice routine.
Good job. That's awesome.
Here's Lindsay's last tumbling run. Front tumbling, nice front layout. A little short on the second front layout, but she fights it quite well.
All part of that learning process, though, when you're a freshman or sophomore. 9.775. The Big 12 Gymnastics Championships continue when we return to Lincoln, Nebraska, here on Fox Sports Net. Hey, looking for the perfect way to spend your evenings? Introducing the best damn sports show period with Chris Rose, Tom Arnold, and a bunch of ex-jocks. It's the only show that gives you sports comedy, commentary, scores, and highlights. So kick back, relax, and enjoy the best damn sports show period, weeknights at 8 and 11 p.m. only on Fox Sports Net. Red McLeod, Dominic Dawes, the former Olympian, here in Lincoln, Nebraska for the Big 12 Championships. Here's Rochelle Simpson, hoping to put a hammerlock on the all-around competition. She's third up in the bars for Nebraska. Huskers can't explain tangibly why they're so dominant in this building, but there's obviously a comfort level for them. I mean, how do you explain that? 9 years, or actually 8 years, without a defeat here.
Well, all I can think of is theirs. It's always good to be at home. It's always good to compete in your backyard, and that's what I felt being in Atlanta, Georgia at the '96 Olympic Games. It was always good to have the home team, the home crowd behind you.
Rochelle went to Penn State her first year. Didn't feel like she had the home school advantage, if you will. I think been born and raised in Toronto. It just didn't feel right. So she made the connection here in Nebraska. Loves the feeling she has here in Lincoln. And Dan Kending is thrilled to have her. She's only a sophomore.
And this strong team atmosphere here in Nebraska must be exactly what she was looking for. Full pirouette. Another full pirouette. Into a blind change. The shoot over handstand. I guess she's definitely known for her pirouette and combinations in the beginning part of her set. Nice release move. Preparing for her dismount double pike. Beautiful routine. She has to be happy.
Rochelle Simpson. Dan Kending says, I've never even asked her why she left Penn State. I don't even want to know why. I'm just glad to have her in Husker land.
And right now she's going for her release move. Ginger, nice, clean catch on that move. Here she's preparing for a dismount, double pike somersault. Beautiful height, nice pointed toes. Awesome landing.
So 3 perfect landings in a row for NU. So the bars numbers for Rochelle, 9.875. Hey, that's a personal best. But now is it going to be enough to hold off Sisti Huey for the all-around title? Next up for the Cyclones on the beam, Stephanie Schweitzer. Head coach KJ Kindler likes the consistency that Stephanie provides on the beam.
Stephanie is sharp. She's really sharp, really competitive. You're very captivated by her when she's up there, and I have 100% confidence in her. So, I mean, when I say she's my smoking gun, she's my 5th person up. I know she's going to nail, and she's a great competitor.
Well, the defending champion's going to need a good number here to beat the score of Simpson, which is a 9.95 right now, the leader.
Yeah, Stephanie's definitely in the end part of the rotation for ISU, so she must be a consistent athlete on the balance beam. That's a fancy little mount there.
She pulled off a 9.90 on the bars earlier.
Here she gets ready for series combinations, back handspring, back layout. Nice fight. She was a little off, but she saved it from falling off the beam. Nice leap combination.
But that tight shot of the beam shows you the margin of error. There is none.
There is no margin of error. You have exactly 4 inches, and your feet are already about 3 inches wide, so it doesn't leave very much room for faults.
which is why gymnasts who are tiny usually do well.
Yeah, usually, you know, gymnasts are usually 5'3", 5 feet tall or below, and that's really important because if you get up to 6 feet tall or you get to 5'8", it's a lot more difficult. Nice switch side. One thing that we were talking about earlier was dance and artistic value on the floor, but the judges are also looking for that on the balance beam. Nice dismount for Stephanie.
So the Minnesota native comes through for her squad.
Here's her combination series right here. Back handspring, layout. You see she's a little off, but she saves it quite nicely. And watch how off she is on the beam, and she pulls her toes. Got muscles down there, too.
Got to work on those. The toes, no. A 9.90 for Stephanie. That ties her for third. We'll be back with her teammate, Sissy Huey, on the beam when we return to Lincoln. So the Sooners' third performer on the vault, Casey Tamayo. OU really needs to finish strong now.
She's doing a front entry vault, front handspring, front pike. Ooh, big problems on the landing.
And that's going to cost her a little bit. 9.7, indeed it did. Next up, Mariana Gonçalves.
Mariana's going to be doing a Yurchenko vault. Round off entry. Nice full somersault, and again, problems on the landing.
And she loses a little bit. 9.875 on the vault. But Steve Nuno offering words of encouragement. And here comes Leah Mueller, who authored a 10.0 just a few weeks ago.
Leah's going to be doing a Phelps vault. Beautiful. Problems on the landing, but Steve seems to love it.
So 3 landings for the Sooners that cost them a little bit on the vault. One of the competitors for the all-around title. She's had 3 fine performances on the beam, as you can see this season.
Sissy, a strong senior for ISU. Definitely a leader finishing up their beam rotation.
She admits in her final home meet last week she cried. Closing out a college career in Ames, but she wants to keep going. Not only to the regionals, but to the national championships in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
So far, their strong performances in the competition today are definitely going to keep them going further. Nice back layout.
Sissy's finally healthy this year. First 2 years plagued with injuries. Had off-season shoulder surgery this past summer.
Sissy seems a little tentative in her beam performance so far. A little shaky. Nice combination right there. Back pike to a splashdown.
Haven't seen many of those tonight.
No, you're usually not going to see many of those because they look quite painful.
Are they?
You know, I really never did it, but I'm thinking it is. Beautiful dismount.
Sissy Huey. She, like Mariana Gonçalves, has a football-playing boyfriend, a tight end at ISU.
And here's Sissy's dismount. Cartwheel gainer full. Perfect landing.
9.925 for Sissy. That ties her for second place on the beam with Rachel Dunbar. Not quite enough to overtake Rochelle Simpson, but it's going to give her the all-around title. I don't think she's aware of it yet. Way to go, Sissy. We'll be back to crown some champions in Lincoln on Fox Sports Net. Lincoln, a coronation again of the Cornhuskers. 196.725 as they held off the runner-ups from Ames, Iowa. The Cyclones 196.650. Oklahoma finished third. Missouri at 195.475. Fourth place in the Big 12 championships. Individually, Sissy Huey of Iowa State, the all-around winner. She closed strong. we had co-vault champions, both from the Husker side of things. A.J. Lamb, the hometowner, along with Jess Wirtz. The uneven bars title shared as well. Sissy Huey and Stephanie Schweitzer. Her teammate, the balance beam title winner, Rochelle Simpson. What a first Big 12 performance she had, because she's also won the floor exercise, a co-championship with Casey Tamayo. In fact, Rochelle finished second in the overall standings. And now we visit with the happy head coach Dan Kendig, and the beat goes on here in the Devaney Center. 45 in a row now without a defeat.
Tell you what, it's fun. I tell you, the team did a great job tonight. Proud of the way we started out, and just kept the pressure on all night, and Big 12 champion again.
Was there one performance, Dan, that really kind of stemmed the tide and the emotion of Iowa State and kind of closed it out for you?
Well, actually, I think it was a lot of it was the way we started. We started out 6 for 6 on beam and 6 for 6 on floor, and had our best vault day of the year. And so that pretty much got us a good lead, and thank goodness, too, because we tried to make it close and exciting on that last event.
So you see the championship hardware Big 12 championship trophy, and obviously a confident Big Red, as the championship t-shirts have already been taken hot off the presses here in Lincoln. Now for the all-around championship winner, Sissy Huey of Iowa State. She is joined by our Dominic Downs. Dominic?
Sissy, Big 12 all-around champion. How does it feel throughout your career? You've been plagued with many injuries. How were you able to come back both physically as well as mentally?
I think it was a lot of hard work. I just try to stay positive, and every day just keep working hard on all my skills and not get down on myself, and all the hard work has just finally paid off, I think.
This will be great. This will be your 4th time going to the NCAAs. How are you going to prepare both in your workouts and out of the gym?
I think I'm just going to try to treat it like another meet, and not like a huge meet, not like nationals, and just try to stay focused and not get too excited. So,
well, congratulations on your performance.
Thank you.
Back over to you, Fred.
All right, Dominic, and there it is, the championship trophy again, going to the Cornhuskers as they, along with Iowa State and Oklahoma, now head on to the regional championships with a possibility of getting to the NCAA finals in Alabama. Congratulations to the Big Red, Nebraska, and all of the individual champions at today's Big 12 Gymnastics Championships. Our next Big 12 Conference Championship event is the Women's Softball Championship, Sunday, May 5th. For Dominic Dawes, I'm Fred McLeod saying so long from Lincoln, Nebraska.